Hello again, everyone. Today we're going to be looking at right triangle trigonometry. So we're starting a new section. Hopefully you're done with the quiz at this point. If you should be. If you're not, you should be working on that instead, unless you're watching these overnight. So right triangle trigonometry has everything to do with right triangles. And this first video is just gonna go over what are called trigonometric ratios, or more short-term form is trig ratios. So the very first one we're gonna be looking at sine of A, cosine of A, and tangent of A. And I've included the A on there, but the A is really just referring to a triangle, an angle in the triangle. So don't be too hung up on the A being there, because that can actually change. It could really be any letter, or referring to whatever angle we happen to be looking at. It could even be replaced by a number, which we'll actually see in some of the later videos. So these are our three trig functions: sine, cosine, and tangent. There's also arcsine, arccosine, and arctangent, but we're not going to be worrying about those so far. Now, sine of A can also be written as sin, so it cuts it down to 3 letters. So this would also be sine of A. Cosine of A can be also cut down to 3 letters, where it's just cos. And then again, A, I'm just using that, but really it could be any letter, or it could be replaced by a number if you know the angle measure. And the last one we have is tangent of A, which can be shortened to tan, and then have A there. Now, this will make more sense when we actually look at a triangle, but for now, just giving you the information out before you get to the next video. So sine of A is going to be opposite. It's going to be the side opposite of A, angle A. So keep in mind, A is an angle. It's the side opposite of A over the hypotenuse. Cosine, on the other hand, is the side adjacent. Wow, I cannot spell. Adjacent to A. And that is also over the hypotenuse. So keep in mind, these are fractions. I'm writing out the fractions with the description. So it's the side adjacent to A, which adjacent means next to. It's the side that's right next to angle A. And then the last one, the tangent, its fraction or ratio is the side opposite of A over the side adjacent to it. So, to recap, side opposite of A over hypotenuse is sine. For cosine, it's side adjacent to A over hypotenuse. And then tangent doesn't use the hypotenuse at all. It's the side opposite of A over the side adjacent to A. To give you a triangle, I didn't have this written in, but I probably should have. So let's give a little example triangle here. Most of our triangles today are going to be labeled A, B, and C. The sides tend to be a, small b, and small c. Notice that A is opposite of the side that's A, the angle B is opposite of side B, and then angle C is opposite of side C. Now, C is our hypotenuse. So when we're actually looking at this in its format here, the side opposite of A is going to be little a, and then over hypotenuse, which is our C. Because remember, we're talking about right triangles here. It has to be a right triangle. and our right angle is always going to be angle C. So the side that's opposite of angle C, which in this case is usually little c, is going to be our hypotenuse. Cosine of A, which is that side adjacent to A over hypotenuse, the side that's right next to A is B, so it's going to be little b over the hypotenuse, which is little c. And then for tangent, it's the side opposite of A, which opposite of A is little a, over the side adjacent to A, so right next to A is B, so it's going to be A over B. The key thing on here is that C is right next to A, but it's the hypotenuse. So we're just wanting to look at the two sides that are not a hypotenuse. These are also called legs. Now, really quickly, just to finish this up, this is sometimes referred to as SOHCAHTOA. I'm not a huge fan of this, but I wanted to throw it in here so if you had seen this before, you'd know that this is what we're talking about, where S stands for sine, and then our O is going to be opposite over our H, which is hypotenuse. Excuse me. Our C would be cosine, where our A is adjacent over hypotenuse, H being that hypotenuse again. And then our last one, T, would be tangent, where our O is opposite over our A, which is adjacent. So if you've learned SOHCAHTOA before, it's talking about right triangle trigonometry, and it talks about each of our three trig functions, sine being the SO, ca being the cosine piece, and then tangent, or the TOA being our tangent function. And that kind of covers that brief information. Some of this will make more sense here when we get to the second video, but I just wanted to get this information out.